We've all come to love the Canadian actor Ryan Reynolds for his role as the comical anti-hero Deadpool. But before landing this popular character, Reynolds has bagged a couple of roles that showed his skill as an actor. And for today's video, we'll be listing down Ryan Reynolds' top 10 best films ranked. So if you want to know more about this actor's works, then you better tune in for more. Starting today's list at the 10th spot, we have the 2002 American comedy Van Wilder. Van Wilder is the film that established Reynolds as a star of the screen. Following 4 seasons as the show's star, Ryan Reynolds portrayed a clever but lazy college student in the film who didn't want to grow up. Reynolds still manages to bring sincerity to the role despite the movie being remembered for its debauchery and a lot of bodily fluid-based humor a la American Pie. On December 1, 2006, the sequel Van Wilder: The Rise of Taj was made available, and on July 14, 2009, a prequel called Van Wilder Freshman Year was made available exclusively on DVD. Next, we have the 2015 indie drama film Mississippi Grind at the number 9 spot. Reynolds portrays the untouchable Curtis Vaughn in this road movie about desperation in contrast to Ben Mendelsohn's Jerry, who never seems to get a break. Mississippi Grind has all the makings of a tale about an underdog, but it consistently pulls the rug out from under the audience. Reynolds, however, continues to be a figure of sophisticated poise and undeniable appeal despite the setbacks. Then we have one of his more recent works in the 2019 live-action Pokemon movie Detective Pikachu at number 8. A live-action Pokemon movie shouldn't have succeeded by all logic. Detective Pikachu was an unforeseen hit, unlike Nintendo's last attempt at something similar, 1993's Super Mario Bros., which essentially destroyed video game movies for at least 10 years after. Reynolds' voice acting and facial motion capture provided the viewers with a titular yellow mouse to believe in. Sure, the delight of witnessing a world populated by Pokemon in the style of the original Game Boy games surely helped. Super Mario Bros. Is a result of this movie for better or worse. We've already shown how crucial finding the appropriate voice is for a movie in 2023. Moving on to the next one, we have the 2008 rom-com Definitely Maybe at number 7. 500 Days of Summer meets How I Met Your Mother in Definitely Maybe, in which Will Hayes, played by Ryan Reynolds, explains to Maya, his 10-year-old daughter, who is presently going through a divorce, how he met her mother. Reynolds can alternate between experiencing heartbreak and falling head over heels in love in this slow-burning love story mystery, which is full of goopy, feel-good emotions. And of course, we have his work on the 2018 superhero film Deadpool 2 at number 6. Reynolds excels at playing Wade Wilson, a wisecracking, invincible vigilante, as well as the mercenary with a big mouth. He also evokes a lot of sympathy in this role. He's set to carry on this streak when he joins Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in Deadpool 3, one of Marvel's amazing slate of future features, as one of the most eagerly anticipated blockbusters. Now, we're on to the upper half of today's list. Any guesses about what films are in this portion? If not, then you better tune in for more. At the top 5 spot, we have the 2017 American action comedy film The Hitman's Bodyguard, where he starred alongside Samuel L. Jackson. Michael Bryce, Reynolds' bodyguard, and Darius Kincaid, Samuel L. Jackson's assassin, are paired in this delightful odd couple film. Both actors seem to be having fun the entire time, and that joy is contagious. The Hitman's Bodyguard is an incredible blast when you throw in some top-notch action scenes, some vintage squabbling, and the director Patrick Hughes' unfussy attitude toward treating things too seriously. Moving on to the 4th spot, we have the 2010 survival drama Buried. Reynolds spends the most of Buried confined to a box, but this violent movie gives him the chance to demonstrate his outstanding acting abilities. Buried differs from most of the movies Reynolds has been in by having ransom demands, terrorists, and a very awful sensation of claustrophobia throughout, but that frenzied, puppy-like energy is employed to deadly purpose as he faces his own mortality. And at number 3, we have the 2021 action comedy film Free Guy. An exuberant action film that veers toward nostalgia but is steadfastly set in the present. Guy, played by Reynolds, is excellent as an unknowing NPC who goes about his daily activities unaware that he is a player in a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. But when that delusion is dispelled, he really comes to life, courtesy of Millie Rusk, played by Jodie Comer. Reynolds can be as silly as he wants in this out-of-place role, but there is also room for him to develop emotionally. And at the number 2 spot, we have his most popular rom-com to date in The Proposal, where he starred alongside Sandra Bullock. The Proposal has everything a fantastic rom-com requires. Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, who portrays both his boss and his fiancée Margaret Tate, have wonderful chemistry together, and the tension manages to straddle the line between absurd and plausible. Along with an extravagant family and our protagonists facing their own pasts, there is also plenty of advice from the blunt grandma played by Betty White. The concept of family gives The Proposal much more depth than other rom-coms, while Reynolds and Bullock boost it above being just another one. And of course, topping today's list of Ryan Reynolds' best films is none other than his work on Deadpool back in 2016. Ryan Reynolds has achieved such success because he fully commits to every part, whether it is that of a man who has been buried alive or a creep at a theme park. He actually devoted years of his life to attempting to get a Deadpool movie done, allegedly going so far as to leak test material to get the movie approved by 20th Century Fox, and it shows in the caliber of the finished product. After a dubious representation in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Reynolds' desire was ultimately realized in 2016 with the release of Deadpool. Deadpool is regarded as one of the best superhero movies of all time, and swiftly became the highest-earning R-rated film ever, only bested by Joker in 2019. It is true to the comic, with fourth wall breaks, violence, and plenty of asides, but with all the spectacle that Hollywood can offer. Ryan Reynolds' filmography includes a few utter duds like Green Lantern and The Voices, but ever since he transitioned from sitcom actor to bankable, humorous Hollywood star in the early 2000s, Reynolds has emerged as one of the industry's most beloved figures. He may be coarse and his sarcasm is usually stinging, but he is also incredibly adaptable and unafraid to take chances. Look to Spirited, a new musical adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, for evidence. But as of recently, the Twitter folks have been rallying behind a certain Ryan Reynolds movie, which many deemed as his worst yet. What's even more surprising is that this said movie is getting a sequel, so keep watching if you want to know more about the latest development on this topic. Ryan Reynolds has a few embarrassing roles in his filmography. However, one movie that goes unnoticed is one of the biggest flops of all time, R.I.P.D. A sequel to his Undead Police Force movie, R.I.P.D. 2: Rise of the Damned, is currently doing exceptionally well on Netflix, per Flix Patrol. Of course, he receives a lot of criticism for his role as Hal Jordan, aka Green Lantern, and even makes fun of himself with multiple references in his Deadpool film. However, one film that goes unnoticed is one of the biggest flops of all time, R.I.P.D. So what's R.I.P.D. 2: Rise of the Damned all about? The Dark Horse comic novel, R.I.P.D., follows Nick Cruz, a man who is murdered by an unidentified assailant at the pinnacle of his professional and emotional life, and who exchanges 100 years of service to the Rest in Peace Department. He will work for the zombie police that reports to the guy upstairs in exchange for being allowed to look into his own murder. Unfortunately for him, the investigation will lead him to the gates of hell. Given that Ryan Reynolds is not Latino, R.I.P.D. changed the protagonist's name to Nick Walker, and R.I.P.D. 2 introduces a completely new character. R.I.P.D. 2: Rise of the Damned debuted on the streamer on November 15th and debuted at number 3 in the top 10. On November 16th, it held that position, and on November 18th, it climbed to number 2. A new movie will first spark some attention before it begins to wane. It appears to be already doing this, as it fell to number 5 on the streamer on November 19th, and then even more to number 7 on November 20th. The Old West Sheriff Roy Pulsifer, who was revived in the sequel to prevent a portal to hell from opening, was replaced by another actor with a lesser-known name but comparable quality, Jeffrey Donovan. There is no evidence to suggest that the reason R.I.P.D. 2 is one of the most-watched movies on Netflix in the past week is anything other than pure curiosity to see what they did with the well-known Dark Horse comic. With that, we're wrapping up today's video about Ryan Reynolds movies. Which movie of his do you think deserves a spot on today's list? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching today's video, and before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. See you next time.